Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Breakdown with Coach Matt Doherty. Matt, I appreciate you joining me for
My
this.
pleasure.
I think we've done some good segments so far. Some people have been engaged with them, especially the one on Duke's Vernon Carrick Jr. So now this is almost like looking into the future. So we're going to talk about Louisville's David Johnson, a freshman point guard who is starting, just kind of hitting the surface, I think, of his potential and what he's capable of.
Well, when I saw him play against Duke, I quickly thought that he could be one of the best guards in the country from his talent. He reminds me of Donovan Mitchell, another U of L guard who I evaluated when I was with the Pacers and who has become a star for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah. See, you can tell your son goes to Bellarmine. You're familiar with Louisville because you said U of L.
U of L, and I say Louisville.
Outside. Yes.
I don't say Louisville, I say Louisville.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, it's obviously the Duke game that David Johnson, his performance in that was his best game, and kind of, I think, to be in a marquee situation like that and to play as well as he did, I think the nation kind of took notice too on what he can do. So we're going to start with footage from that Duke game.
Here's a pick, but it really is to set up Johnson on a weak side, and I think that was a set play to go backdoor against Trey Jones. It's just a great cut. I like the fact that he went out to the three-point line, and what he really did was expose Trey Jones's defense, where I think Duke likes to overplay. I think Trey Jones was anxious to show this freshman, I got you. And Chris Mack took advantage of that. And the other thing, I look more at Trey Jones's defense, where he opened up to the ball. I teach on overplaying to deny, and then what you would call a quick head, where you would go from here, or let's say I was guarding you, I'm denying you, you go back door, I'd quick head and pick you up over my right shoulder, over the opposite shoulder, as opposed to if you start to go back door, I open up, now I lose sight of you. I'd rather lose sight of the ball for a second and try to pick it up over here and stay with you. They took advantage of Trey in that situation, and he's an athletic guy, make an athletic cut like that and be able to catch it and lay it in.
Yeah, and Trey Jones isn't somebody who gets backdoored on a lot. Like he's one of the better defenders.
No question, one of the best guard defenders in the country. Directing traffic again. The pace, and that to me right there is like a quarterback in football looking off the safety. He's not looking at his man. He's got to have what I call spatial recognition and look beyond his man to see where the help is coming from, which is the Boston College player in the lane. He's got to read him. He's not reading his man. He's reading that guy. And when he commits to the roller, then Johnson skips it across for the open three-point. I like Johnson's pace. I like his toughness with the ball, his size, athleticism, and he has a real balance of looking for his own shot, but looking for his teammates too. When he has joined this team, when I saw them play early in the year, I knew they were good and had a chance to maybe go to the Final Four, because there's no great teams. But I think what he does is make the Louisville Cardinals whole and gives them now a real point guard, which they didn't have before. And now you have size and depth up front. You have Noir scoring on the wing. You have McMahon who can knock it out from deep, and you got him running the point. I don't see a real weakness on this Cardinal team. And here's the counter to the back door play. Instead of going back door, he gets the handoff, uses a brush screen, and now you're taking Cassius Stanley to the basket. I mean, that's one athletic, NBA-sized defensive guard, about 6'5", athletic, long arms, and he could take him to the paint and hang and finish. That was as impressive a play as we've seen so far. That's vision. You can't teach that vision. He hits the open man for the three in traffic, And he's doing that against Vernon Carey. Vernon Carey picked him up, obviously a big guy with size, long arms, and to find, I talk about good point guards need to be able to see and deliver. There's one thing to see. A lot of guys can't see. Okay, you can see, now can you deliver the ball? And he delivered the ball on target. So he can hit the teammate in the shooting pocket and he can be in rhythm for a jump shot.
I'm kind of laughing to myself because I felt like, I wasn't much of a player, but in high school, I could see where it was supposed to go. I couldn't deliver it.
Yeah. Some guys can't see. I thought he should have gotten the ball there, but he didn't overreact, and he's able to make a contested three. And you might say, well, that's a bad shot. It might be a bad shot for some players in college, but it's a sign of things to come in the NBA because you got to be able to make contested three-pointers in the NBA. His length, his commitment to slide, his sense of urgency on defense, a good stance. I mean, he's a good two-way player. Now he makes a bonehead pass, but people are going to make mistakes.
How much of that, when you have a freshman guard like that, how much of that is still just kind of adapting to what you can and can't get away with on this level of college? Or I think he's played long enough to where he should know better.
Listen, you're going to make mistakes. He has vision. He probably just made a bad decision. I'm trying to think back to freshman guards. It looks like he had good high school coaching because of what I see with his defense and his ability to pass the ball, shooting technique. I played with a freshman point guard when I was a senior in Kenny Smith, and I thought Kenny was as good as I've seen at pushing the basketball but yet being under control. I thought he was going to be an out-of-control New York guard, but he played for Jack Kern, one of the legendary coaches in New York City at Malloy High School. And so he's had good coaching. I just think, hey, he's entitled to turn the ball over once a game at least. See, now I call this a triangle, a flat triangle between the offensive player with the ball and his man. That's a tough spot, especially for a freshman, when he's two passes away, that he's still focused man and ball. And a lot of players, even veteran players, will turn their head either on the ball or turn their head on their man. So he sees both, and by seeing both, as the ball is in the air to Stanley, he can move when the ball moves. And that's what puts him in position to make the athletic block. It's big-time recovery. I just think that what Johnson brings to the team creates a wholeness where now they really don't have any weak spots. They've got big guys up front that can rebound, block shots. Nwora can play the 3 of the 4. They've got shooting. They have defense on the wings. And now you have depth at the point because Fresh Kimball can play some point. I saw him a lot when I was with the Atlantic 10 office. And he was at St. Joe's, and now you have Johnson. So not many teams have depth. We saw, Duke struggle a little bit when Carey got hurt. Carey got fouled out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Carolina went on a run. Now they came back. But, if Trey Jones gets out, gets hurt, what happens? Or gets in foul trouble, who's going to take over? So to have depth, at point guard, the wing, and the post, that's pretty impressive for Louisville.
Yeah, and they have the veterans. Well, that's going to wrap up this segment of The Breakdown with Coach Matt Doherty. Please click on clbrown.com for more coverage of ACC basketball, and please click on the like and subscribe buttons for CL Brown Hoops YouTube channel.